As promised, I have gotten a little quiz for this episode. I've got 3 questions. What are the 2 national sports of Canada? There's one summer and one winter.
I think I know this one.
Yeah, lacrosse is summer.
And then it's got to be hockey, right? For winter.
Feels like almost a trick question, though. But
no,
yeah.
Because the trick is people make you want to go, like field hockey for the summer one. But it's actually lacrosse.
Yeah. Okay, ice hockey and lacrosse.
Yeah.
Spot on, yeah. You're right.
Woo.
For that
Too
one.
smart. That's why we have a sports podcast.
Yeah.
They also invented baseball and basketball, the Canadians.
I will believe that. I have no idea about that one. Actually.
What can't the Canadians do?
Win the World Series.
Oof.
Okay, next question. What is the second most elevated position in Australian public significance outside of the Prime Minister?
I know the answer to this one.
How about you give it a crack then, Carlin?
Like unofficially. It's an unofficial.
Yeah, like what are they? Okay. I'm trying to think of like sports people that are powerful because I feel like that's where this is going. But I'm like, I don't know. Maybe like the head of like, I don't know, Cricket Australia or something.
Oh, close.
You got the right sport.
Yeah.
It is the... Oh, I'll let James have his guess.
The captain of the Australian men's cricket team. Specifically the test match side.
Yes, that is correct. And the third question, what is conventionally seen as the greatest honour in Australian sports outside of appearing on the Wild World of Sport podcast?
Yes, that's important to mention.
Have we had any Aussies yet?
Have we? We've not done one Australian. We've thought about
Michael
it.
O'Brien.
Oh, we
O'Brien,
did.
the
We
striker.
started. Oh, well,
And the drunk
didn't
Socceroos.
start on that.
Yeah.
That's true. We did. Yeah, no, there we go.
What am I
That's fine.
saying? I don't know the answer to this one.
Nor do I.
Getting the baggy green and getting to represent Australia in the Ashes. Baggy green is the symbol of Australian sports.
That is true. I mean, yeah, I know how big of a deal it is to get the baggy green, so sure.
Any cricketer dreams of it. Any Australian who played sports as a kid had a dream of one day getting a baggy green. So the baggy green's for the Ashes, or for Test cricket, international Test cricket, but the Ashes is the main event. And it's regarded as one of, if not, the most prestigious and long-standing bilateral international sporting rivalries in history, as it spans 143 years. Ask any Australian what they remember about the Ashes, and you'll get different answers from different generations.
And different amount of beers consumed from watching it.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
I'd remember a lot less.
2006, I wasn't drinking that many beers.
Yeah. Were you? Are you sure?
I think maybe I had a sip.
Yeah. It'd be un-Australian.
Oh.
Would it be?
The way we played that series.
In my cricketing consciousness, Mitchell Johnson and the 2013-14 Ashes is what comes to mind first when I think of Australian cricket. And that will be the story of today's episode.
Hello and welcome to the Wild World of Sport, the podcast where 3 friends sit down, crack a couple beers, and go on a journey to find the wildest story from the world of sport. My name is James Whybrow.
I'm James's brother Ben, no relation.
I am Carlin's not brother James. I feel like I really need to come up with something better for this bit. But it's not meant to be funny. I'm Carlin. Hello.
Well, it is sort of meant to be funny, but we also sort of are a bit mean to you, and we said, Carlin, we're going to go first and then make you do something funny as the third guy.
Yeah. Well, that's all right. We're brothers, in a way.
Yeah, you've got all episode to come up with your title for the end as well.
Yeah, you've got time to work on
There's
it.
a lot of pressure. Thanks for reminding me.
And I'll start off, if you've got a name that Carlin could use for the start of episodes, let us know at Wild World of Sport on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, wherever
You
you...
can send it to me directly. You can find me on Google Plus at Carlin Sheaves.
LinkedIn.
I'm definitely there. Just keep looking.
Is Google Plus part of the social media ban for under 16s?
I hope not.
Yeah,
that's
we're
where
gonna
all our
pop off
content
even
is.
more then.
So I am the captain of this episode. Go on, just a basic title today.
So you're the highest honour. of the
Yeah, I was going to
podcast.
say,
Yes.
did you know that actually makes him more important than any other previous storytellers we've had, except for the Prime Minister? But we haven't had him.
No, not yet. Maybe
We've
you
had
might
the
her.
Emperor.
That is true.
Surely that
Or the
outranks
Empress.
Empress, who impressed
Oh, now you're backtracking after filler episodes.
I've copped a verbal onslaught.
At Wild World of Sport.
So, what are the Ashes? For those that don't know, the Ashes are considered the most prestigious and long-standing bilateral international sporting rivalry that spans 143 years.
Pretty long time.
It's been played since 1882 and has only stopped for 4 to 5 years at a time during the World Wars. Do you know where it got its name from?
I do. I'm a bit of a cricket.
Yeah, look,
tragic,
I know, like, very vaguely. I want to say it's like the bat and the wicket and the stuff they use got burnt down and it's the Ashes or something. Is that right?
It's not entirely
Yeah,
wrong.
you're not completely wrong. So in 1882, Australia went to England and won a test series. And it was the first time that a colony beat England. And in England. So the Sporting Times of England made a satirical obituary in the newspaper that said the Ashes have been killed, or cricket's been killed.
The death of English cricket.
I do vaguely remember that. Interesting one, just because it happened somewhat recently. The soccer Ashes.
Yes.
What was the story with that? Because there was an interesting story there. It's like something to do with like the cigarettes and like a case or something.
Yeah,
a box or
the
something.
two captains, when Australia and New Zealand first played, smoked cigars together after the game and put their ash in a wooden box made of a New Zealand wood and an Australian wood.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, and then it was lost for a bunch of years, and then they found it again and went,
In
let's-
wasn't it like Football Australia's like president's like garage or
yeah,
something?
yeah, just somewhere around.
He's like, oh, oops, I found it.
Back with the records of the drunk Socceroos, they just don't officially want to include it.
Yeah, they're covering up our history.
So it was then the campaign in 1882-83 was to reclaim the Ashes with the English team coming to Australia. And the English team won that tour.
Boo.
So they reclaimed the Ashes. So at that game, they burnt the bales, put them in a little urn, and England took the urn back. And ever since, the Ashes were reclaimed and the name has stuck.
It's a cool name.
It is a good name. And if you don't know, the urn is tiny, very small. We've got one as part of the set that's probably a tenth of the scale. It can seem underwhelming if you used to like big trophies like the Stanley Cup. So what is Test cricket?
It's not about how big the trophy is. I just want to mention before.
It's about who wins it.
Exactly.
And
it's
how you
bells
win it.
out.
What is Test match cricket? It is war.
Oh.
It is
Then why did it stop during World War One and Two?
they were trying out a new type of war.
Right.
And just thought, maybe this
Then
would be a
they
better
thought,
sporting
let's go back to
competition.
basics. It was much better when we were lobbing through sixes.
It's a war just because it takes so long. So in a test series, you play 5 games, and each game lasts 5 days. You have 11 players on each team, and they go through and each bat and bowl twice per game.
2 innings.
2 innings.
It's really not a sport for people with ADHD, or quite the opposite. If they really like it,
If this
maybe
is your
it
fixation.
maybe it is a sport for people with ADHD.
Cricket is summer in Australia. Summer and cricket go hand in hand.
Admittedly, I've never properly played cricket, but boy, have I played cricket, especially a bit of beach cricket. Oh, nothing like it.
Backyard cricket, Christmas Day, the whole family around playing cricket in the backyard or at the
Accidentally
beach.
knocking the ball over into the neighbours, having to climb the fence.
Nan
6 and
comes
out.
up to bat, and you're like, all right, everyone come in, bit of body line, start throwing the short stuff
Yeah,
down at
give
her.
us some chin music.
Yeah. Love
It's,
you, Nan.
It's great. 6 and out over the fence. It's just a part of Australian culture and a pastime. So who is Mitchell Johnson? Mitchell Johnson was an Australian fast bowler. He was born in Townsville, Queensland. And when he was younger, he wanted to be a pro tennis player. But he still played cricket. He was a multi-sport athlete, like most Australian children are.
Well, I know, like, it's often people do cricket and then, like, one other sport. It changes. They, like,
Well, you have to do something in the winter.
I suppose so, yeah.
I mean, you can still, go down to your nets and, train and stuff.
Because I know there's, like, BBLW, like, Millie Illingworth. She used to play AFL, but now she plays cricket. I guess
Well,
it's a
wasn't
big deal.
AFL invented to keep cricket players fit during the winter?
Yeah.
So when Mitchell Johnson was 17, he decided he'd become a one-sport athlete and just focus on cricket. And it turned out to be a really good decision because he went to a fast bowling clinic in Brisbane and a former cricketing legend, Dennis Lilly, Australian fast bowler, was scouting that bowling clinic. And he saw Johnson as, and I quote, a once in 9 lives prospect.
So he's a
like
cat.
a cat.
I thought the same thing when I saw that quote.
Is he calling him a pussy?
Lilly arranged for Johnson to be enrolled in the Australian Cricket Academy in Adelaide that year. Johnson had a unique bowling style, which was described as whippy and deceptive left arm with explosive pace and lethal swing. In his wind-up, he'd keep his bowling arm behind his hip and then come forward in a very aggressive and whippy angle, which was very hard to play against.
Like a catapult.
Like a cat.
Like a cat.
Like a cat.
Apple.
His unique bowling action led to a lot of back issues in his youth, and he was injured pretty regularly during his developmental years. He made his international debut in 2005 for the Australian ODI team against New Zealand, and it was an underwhelming debut with the ball with 0 wickets, 64 runs off 9 overs, which is an average about 7 runs per over bowled, which is pretty high. His potential on the international stage started to show up at about his 7th appearance, when it was an ODI against India in Malaysia. He had a bowling figures of 4 wickets for 11 runs off 4 overs.
Now, just a quick question, because it's like, I mean, I actually do know what it stands for, but I don't think you mentioned it. And for our less educated cricket viewers,
Our Canadian listeners.
yeah, our Canadian listeners, what does ODI mean?
It's a one-day international. So that's a form of cricket where you bat for 50 overs and then bowl for 50 overs in the same day. So in that game in Malaysia, Johnson got 4 wickets for only 11 runs off 4 overs and took the wicket of Sachin Tendulkar, who is a legend of the game.
Weird place. I don't ever remember Australia playing in Malaysia.
In 2006, he was selected in the ICC Champions Trophy side for the ODI competition, and he played 3 games in the winning Australian side. We did win.
Whoa.
His best results were 3 wickets for 40 runs against England in the group stage. He didn't feature in the finals. He was selected for the Australian squad in the 2006-2007 Ashes, and he was the 12th man but didn't play at all. In 2007, Johnson was starting to get the recognition not just for his potential, but for his prowess on the international stage, taking 4 wickets in 8 balls against England and receiving his first man of the match at international level.
That's insane.
props.
4 wickets in 8 balls.
Classic Carlin throwing a football here, but like, I don't understand these numbers. Like, is this like Haaland? Like,
Yeah.
the guys come onto the scene and he's just pumping crazy numbers in.
So if you think in an innings you have 10 wickets,
Yeah.
everyone has to bat, 11 players, they all get to bat, then you get 10 wickets. If someone can take 4 wickets, that's 40% of that team. And in 8 balls, in a 50-over match, that's very small
Right.
sample. So it's a very dominant performance.
Okay.
You've almost got half the other team's wickets
Yeah.
in 8 balls. And you have, in a one day, a bowler's...
And is it that from the beginning? Because like my general understanding too is you normally put your stronger batters like to the front to like get you big runs at first. So has he come and done these to the initial batters, or has he come in after?
The upper and middle order. So it wasn't the first few wickets. It would have been like 3 to 7.
It's still good though.
Still a great performance. And later that year, he was pivotal in the winning series in India, where he was the top wicket taker with 14 wickets and got his first 5-wicket haul. So a 5-wicket haul is equivalent to a batsman scoring 50 runs or 100 runs. Like, it's a milestone for a bowler. You got half the wickets in an innings. You were that dominant. Johnson made his test debut at the Gabba in Brisbane, his home field, against Sri Lanka, where his mentor, Dennis Lilly, presented him his baggy green. He was Australian Test cricketer number 398.
What number would you guys want to get? Would you want to get 400, or do you want to be 399, or you just happy? I mean, obviously just happy to get a number.
333. 3 is my lucky number, so.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Well, there's not a high chance of you getting that number.
Why no?
Because they keep adding up.
I know, but like he's asking what number would I want to get. I mean, number 1. You know?
I don't think I'd care. I think that number would then become important to me after the fact.
Yeah. I mean, I just feel like being one of the numbers is all that's important. It doesn't really matter what number.
I mean, being 400 would be pretty cool. Like, I'm 400.
Yeah, I feel like you'd want to be as early as possible. Like, I'd want to be like, right at the beginning. I don't want to jump on like a bandwagon after it being like.
Well, I mean, you can only control
thousandth
so much.
person.
But I mean, it's not like you're the 1,000th in
I
5
know.
years.
But I wanna be there at like the inception of the sport to like be the
I'd
the
have to
number
look
one.
it up, but being like a prime, like a double prime number, so like a prime number which in the order of prime numbers is also a prime number would be pretty cool, or like a mathematical phenomenon, like what's the term? First thing came to mind was
addition.
like there's
Subtraction.
round numbers or the Fibonacci sequence or something like that.
Golden
a number
ratio.
that
Golden ratio.
something that fits like that would be pretty cool. Johnson in his debut performance took 4 wickets for 96 runs, having a bowling average of 24. So a bowling average is how many runs the other team scores on average per wicket you take. So he took 4 wickets for 96 runs, meaning on average he took a wicket every 24 runs they scored. Johnson became a mainstay in the side and was considered to be the long-term Brett Lee replacement with his left arm pace. Brett Lee, if you don't know, is another great Australian fast bowler who was
I've
a
heard of
left arm
Brett Lee.
bowler. He was really good in like the early Big Bash years.
Oh, yeah, with the sixes.
Got a hat-trick in the final.
Is that's
At
not
Monaco.
like the one that I watched?
Yeah, it was against the Scorchers at Monaco.
Yeah.
Yeah, went down to the last ball and
Yeah, so
Moses
his retirement
Enriquez
game.
was standing at
It
the
was a
stumps. And
Great game.
Yeah,
And
great
fumbled
game.
it.
I just remember
And
my
then,
parents saying,
yeah.
"You've got to go watch this game," and I was like, "Okay."
And it was a great game. Johnson had arguably his best performance of his career thus far in the 2009 series against South Africa. It was so important because he improved his signature delivery. A fast, late-moving in-swinger against the right-handers coming back at their feet, making it really hard to play. Easy for leg before wickets, or bowled, or little catches out to the slips. And he also had his best batting performance to date in this test. In the series. The first test, he scored 96 runs not out and scored 26 runs in 1 over, which was an Australian test record.
96 runs not out, so the game finished. Like, how does not out work?
So not out, you have 11 batsmen,
Yeah.
and there's only 10 wickets. So there's always going to be one batsman who then isn't out.
or you finish the game. So
Right.
you've got to chase.
So basically, he got robbed. He was 4 runs off getting a century, and they were like, something happened. He's like, dang it.
Still, 96 is a great performance
Yeah.
for a bowler. Bowlers aren't
But
expected to
it's
do.
just reminding me of a certain like 899 scoreline.
Well, it's a good thing this isn't the story then.
I also forgot to mention, the first runs he ever scored was off a 6. First runs was a 6, which is pretty impressive. But yeah, he got 26 runs in 1 over, where the maximum's 36.
Was that like his first hit, or he let a couple go?
Just
and
his
then-
first scoring
Yeah, okay.
shot was a 6.
That would have been cool if he just came in. Yeah, let's.
And in that first test, he took 8 wickets for 137 runs at an average of 17,
Pretty good.
which is amazing.
So smile and nod.
So an average of 25 or lower is considered elite.
Right.
So if you were to get bang average, the average for the bowlers would be a bowling average of 30, which is decent, but 25 and lower is elite. Mitchell Johnson, if he, in this game, it was just him bowling and he stuck at this 17 average, he would get the other side all out for 170.
All right.
In the second test, he took 2 wickets in the first over and 3 in his first spell. And he also sent 2 South African batsmen off, injured, from bouncers, hitting the chest
That's the way to
and
do it.
arms.
Bouncer, of course, bowling it closer to you than closer to the batsman, so the ball gets more height. And when it gets more height, it goes higher up on you, so it's hitting you in your chest, in your shoulder, in your head, even bouncing over your head if you duck under it. Not a lot of shots you can play safely, and safely I mean not getting out. It's hard to keep your eye on the ball when the ball's coming straight to your eye.
Oh, I can imagine.
Instinctively, you want to get out of the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, they can be a very effective delivery, but if you don't execute it, it's very easy to score off a bad bouncer.
Right. Okay.
Commentator Peter Roebuck described Johnson as, and I quote, the best fast bowler in the world. He finished with bowling figures 4 wickets for 115 runs in that game. In the third test, his bowling figures were 4 wickets for 148 runs, but he scored his maiden century, 123 not out, and he reached his century with a 6.
Whoa.
Even though he had that great batting performance, Australia lost that match. But Johnson was awarded the Player of the Series with 16 wickets and 255 runs.
Good series. Good all-round performance.
Great performance. Going into the Ashes in 2009, hopes were high as Johnson was in really good form. But unfortunately, like all great fast-paced bowlers, their tearaway speed comes at a cost to their accuracy. And Johnson started to become unpredictable and inconsistent. Sometimes he'd be lighting up the stadium, or other times he's so expensive and inaccurate, he was actually a detriment to the side when he bowled.
So he's inconsistent with his style, or?
Just with his accuracy. So he's bowling between 145 and 155 kilometres per hour. And with his action, he had a tendency to fall away to either side, which then made him less accurate. And if you miss your mark when you're a bowler, a good batsman can really punish those mistakes.
And when you're bowling at that speed, it's physics. If you get some bat onto it, the ball's going to fly in whatever
you just have
direction.
to lift it up and off it goes.
Yeah. And so if you're not, because there's certain areas where you want to bowl that makes it harder for you to hit. Just imagine standing there with the bat and move a bat. Where do you feel most comfortable? Where do you feel uncomfortable to hit it? You want to bowl in those areas. But of course, you need to vary when you are targeting those areas. If a batter knows you're going to hit this same spot every time, they'll adjust so they can hit it better.
And you also bowl to your field. So you set up your fielders in a way of where you want to target to bowl. If you know a batsman really struggles on the back foot, you might give them some more short deliveries and set your field to catch in those positions.
How does it work? Because I know there's something about this, like when there's like left and right-handed people for like batting, like do you just change the whole field?
Yep.
And it has to happen every single time they swap over. So you could have, because you got 2 batsmen. So say you're doing some rounds, all of a sudden it's the left one, now it's the right one, now it's the left one, now it's the right. You just have to change the field every single time.
Yeah, it's a big part of the strategy, especially in Test match cricket, of having a left-hander and a right-handed batsman.
Right, just to make it really difficult for them.
Because if you hit it one every single ball, fielders then have to run all the way across to other sides of the field and change the whole time. It's tiring and it eats away at your psyche. It's frustrating to know, we left an easy run, now I've got to do a 30-metre jog to the other side and get set. And it just happens over and over again.
When I played cricket, I almost, maybe I'm in a minority, but I enjoyed when there was a left-hand, right-hand combo because it just kept me more, not that I was getting bored out there, but more engaged and had to be focused more because you could be out there for half an hour and in the field and the ball doesn't come to you at all. So you can lose your attention a little bit. And then all of a sudden the ball's coming to you and you make a mistake because you're not in the zone.
And now you have to reset up. So it's like, even if you don't get to catch it,
yeah,
still
you just got to be thinking, they made a run. I've got to now run over into this spot.
Yeah.
Just keeps
I
you
guess
on your
like
toes.
if you stayed on the same side the whole time, your off-ball presence, so to speak, with quotation marks, is like just kind of standing there.
Yeah.
But then if we flip over to the other side, then it's like, then I've got to actually move over and think. And I can see why that's a lot more fun.
I have burnt into my memory from youth cricket, walking in with the bowler. So as the bowler came in to do their delivery, you all took 2 steps in to make sure you were on your toes and ready to play.
Oh, that's good.
And it was just part of keeping you awake and aware because you're not doing something the whole time. And even youth cricket, if you're on the batting team, you're just sitting on the edge of the field playing.
Well, I mean, again, to throw the football reference in, but I got goal. You could comment on this, Ben. Like, goalkeeping is really hard because it's like, especially when you have a really good defense, because it's like, obviously that's great. You want a good defense. But then when you have a really good defense, often there's like large periods of the game where you're kind of just standing around, just pointing things out to people and you never get to touch the ball. And it's hard, like to have to all of a sudden make a save.
Yeah, it's incredibly difficult to stay 100% focused for a long period of time. So then you need to choose
5 days
when you're going to be really focused. So in a test match, a ball's bowled about every 40 seconds. So you've got 10 seconds in that 40 that you've got to be locked in completely 100% focused. And then 30 seconds where you don't have to be. But just doing on repeat is very difficult mentally to do, especially when you're in a stadium with the crowd cheering and jeering.
And it's a sort of a bit clicky as well. Like there's nothing better than being in the slips because then in between all the balls, you're just having a laugh, having a joke with your mates and that sort of thing. But then on the flip side, there's nothing worse than, all right, the game's opening up a bit. We don't need all these slips. All right, Ben, you go out and field somewhere else. And now you're fielding, and then in between balls, you're just watching everyone else like have a laugh in slips still. And you're like, oh, that used to be me. I wonder what they're talking about. Are they talking about me?
Yeah. Okay, to get us back on track.
We're talking about cricket.
We're just back onto our story. So Johnson had a disappointing Ashes series overall. His consistency was his biggest issue and was the reason it was a letdown. Australia lost the series 2-1 with 2 draws, but there were moments of real promise with Johnson taking 20 wickets for 651 runs.
Cue the wow.
He's still taking wickets.
So it's like Holland. He's still he's still scoring goals, and that's like, oh, but he's not getting hat tricks right now.
You think that's an average of 32.5. So it's just below what we'd conventionally say is the par score.
So he's doing his job, and just because he's pretty spectacular, it's like, oh, I wish he could be doing more.
Just disappointing because at moments he could take 3 wickets in 2 overs, and then just bowl poorly and give away really cheap runs. So when he is missing, he's very, very expensive. So when Brett Lee retired from Test cricket at the start of 2010, Johnson became the de facto spearhead of the bowling attack. He was the number 1 bowler. And with that came a lot more expectations and a lot more scrutiny. He couldn't afford to be the on and again, off again inconsistent player. Johnson didn't need a whole day to wear down and break the batters. He just needed one spell to change the fortunes of the game. When he was on his game, he was a beast. Standing tall with his vicious left arm, at his best, he was almost unplayable. Unfortunately, when he wasn't at his best, he was nothing more than a liability, with inaccuracy and inconsistency overshadowing his talent every time. Johnson was the target of the Barmy Army, the English fans, supporters group. So they'd come up with chants and jeers and cheers, and they'd be loud and obnoxious, and they're the real die-hard English fans.
Wait, so like ultras in football? I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
So yeah, Johnson was a target of the Barmy Army's ridicule in 2009 when he was inconsistent, but he became the main target during the 2010 and 11 Ashes.
Dark days. Dark days. Last year as Australia lost at home.
So they were bagging him out on and off the field. They came up with this song for him. He bowls to the left, he bowls to the right. That Mitchell Johnson, his bowling is shite. And they would...
You could flip that around, just be like, his bowling's all right.
All right's still a bit of an insult there.
It was sung.
Depends how you say it.
Every time he bowled.
Yeah,
anytime he'd come up for a new over. Anytime there was a break in play. Even when he came out to bat.
They're the sort of things like changing ends for the fans. You see Johnson, you're like, it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon. You've been there for 5 hours. You're
5 beers, 10 beers deep.
Yeah, the sun's blazing down, getting a bit sweaty, and you're, all right, getting a bit bored. But, Mitchell Johnson's here. All right, time to start singing again.
And digging him. Over and over, it was constant.
And what if it's like that cricket fan? What's the guy like sculled the milk or whatever? So it's like he's just sculling milk, sculling beers, and then shouting at him. I'd feel pretty bad.
And cricket has a culture of respect and gentlemanly behaviour. So you're not meant to then go back to the fans and go, shut up, stop saying stuff. You're just meant to take it on the chin and move on.
So there's a big asterisk in that, because isn't the whole sledging is quite, I don't know, offensive at times?
Yeah, it gets really
personal.
Can get really deep and personal. And I am sure that we're going to get, because I know the series that was Mitchell Johnson's best, that there's a great sledge that I think will come up later in that one, Carlin, which you'll enjoy.
Right, okay, I'm excited.
But the idea was on the pitch, you're tough and you're ruthless and you're mean, but off the pitch, you're best friends. You're going to be nice, well, not best friends, but respectful and courteous to each other. You'll go in for lunch and have lunch together.
You can have a beer after the game.
After the game. It's meant to be hard fought, well done. That's why when you get a 50 or 100, the other team will clap for you politely. If you have a really good innings, really good performance, everyone will come up and say you've done very well.
It's a gentleman's game.
Right.
But these jeers had a big impact on his confidence and his performance, as in the 2010-2011 series was one of the worst of his career. The series started off in Brisbane, back at his home ground where he made his debut. and he had a shocker. Bowling figures of 0 wickets for 170 runs with an economy of 4 runs per over.
Ouch.
But there was one good thing that happened in this game, though, Carlin. Perhaps
One of the
for all our
not listening and not viewing people, which is all of you, James is beaming right now.
Well, this would be in
never seen a
contention
bigger
for
smile.
one of the wildest things to happen in sport,
Okay,
like mathematically.
So
this is a mini episode right now.
yeah,
Alright.
you know what a hat trick is
Yeah,
in cricket? You know, you
Sure,
get
yeah.
3 wickets in a row. And you know what a birthday is.
I do not know what a birthday is
So that was the day you were born.
in cricket.
No, in life.
Okay,
So-
well, I kind of.
And do you know what a banana is?
Uh,
The fruit, not like in cricket.
Okay, all right. Yes.
So Peter Siddle, Australian cricketer, this test, Australia's bowling, it was his birthday.
Okay.
He gets 1 wicket.
Wait, in cricket or no? I'm kidding.
He gets 1 wicket. Everyone celebrates. He gets another wicket. Everyone celebrates. And now he's on his hat-trick ball. He steams in. Everyone, the crowd's clapping. He comes in, bowls an absolute peach of a delivery.
The fastest ball he had done to date.
Hits Stuart Broad, the slimy English dog, who, now that he's retired, great villain. Love Stuart Broad for the theatre of it all. But the slimy English dog hits him square on the pad, plumb as you like, umpire's finger goes up. Peter Siddle throws his head back and screams, best commentary ever, Peter Siddle's got a hat-trick on his birthday. And then Stuart Broad does the symbol for let's go upstairs, I'm going to review this. The commentator goes, not yet, he doesn't. And so the whole stadium, everyone at home, and we have to go through the process of watching it, seeing ball tracking, and I don't
Plum.
think a ball has ever been more out than this one.
So it's like one of those ones where they pull up VAR and then it was just so painfully definitely a goal.
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah.
It was
You
just
get to watch it again in slow-mo.
Stuart Broad just tried to take the moment away from Peter Siddle. Like at that point, you could say it's worth reviewing it just in case, but it was clear. It was just no, you can't have your celebration right now. You can't have your moment.
And this was in Brisbane.
Yep, this is in Brisbane.
So it was our guys umpiring it? Who, like...
It's in at this point, it's other international nations.
Okay, so no,
like neutrals.
not... Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
But that one of the greatest moments in cricket sporting history. Just goosebumps.
How many bananas did he eat on the day? It was something crazy.
He eats like 11 bananas
Cricket
a day.
bananas or...
real fruit bananas.
Oh, okay.
So Johnson with the bat got a duck in his only at bat. 0. And the match was drawn mostly due to poor weather. He was dropped in game 2 in Adelaide, where England won by an innings. So Australia batted twice and England only had to bat once because they batted that much better.
Right.
To his credit, he bounced back with a man-of-the-match performance in Game 3 in Perth, scoring 63 runs total in both innings, and with bowling figures of 9 wickets for 82 runs,
That's way better.
with a 6 for 38 in the first innings, which was his first Ashes 5 for. Australia won that game comfortably. With the turnaround in form, the media and the fans were like, this is the Mitchell Johnson we need. So they put more pressure on him to maintain this level of performance. And it got to him. Everything got to him. The Barmy Army, the sledging from the English team, the pressure on his shoulders. In the next 2 games, Johnson was plagued with terrible accuracy issues, the worst he's had. And he became the most expensive bowler of the series by a mile.
Worse than the first game?
Worse than the first game. Just for his inaccuracy issues.
He was taking shots and they were going out for throw-ins, not corners.
Yeah. The sledging criticism wasn't just relegated to on the pitch from the fans. He was copying it in his private life. Noting in an interview he did in 2015, Johnson recalled his experience around the game in Melbourne in 2010, around Christmas Boxing Day. And I quote, "There was a time when I was walking down the street with my wife in Melbourne, and I copped abuse from about 10 English blokes.
That's normal. That's a regular day. What do you mean?
And this was in my own country. It was pretty full on, and I'd better not repeat what they said."
Good day, chap.
Yeah. Lovely day, chap. Oh, top of the morning. Eh?
He only couldn't repeat it because they offered him a cigarette in typical English vernacular.
He just
A
didn't
bundle of
understand.
sticks. The Melbourne game. Johnson scored a total of 6 runs in 2 innings, and his bowling figures were 2 for 134. You'd think 2 wickets were pretty good, but the commentators said they were batting errors rather than his bowling ability.
That stings.
There's an average of 67 runs per wicket for his bowling average and a 4.6 economy, which in Test cricket is woeful. Australia lost that game by an innings. The last game in Sydney. Australia batted first and put together an innings of 280 runs, with Johnson scoring 53 of them. But in England's first inning, they scored 644 runs. Johnson ended with figures 4 wickets for 168 off 36 overs. Looks better, but again, they didn't credit the wickets to his ability, more errors from the batsman.
It's mind games, right? Because they think he's going to bowl a certain way, and that's what I tell my juniors in football. Aha! It's a game of mistakes. You got to capitalize on the mistakes that other people make. So it's they're not giving him enough credit.
A fast bowler, when they do their delivery, put 5 times their body weight through their front leg when they land to do their delivery. You do 6 balls and over, you do 25 overs in a day. It's a lot of wear and tear on your body. So if you're out in the field for 2 days when the other team's batting for 600, their whole team's sitting in the air conditioning while you're out in the sun, it's tough. And then getting cheap wickets when they're just going for a slog because they've already scored so many can be a bit demoralising. So in the second innings, Johnson walks out to bat, and the crowd was getting into him pretty hard. Not just the Barmy Army fans, but some Australian fans were singing the "he bowls to the left, bowls to the right, Mitchell Johnson. He's bowling his shite."
A bit unlike the Australian fans to be so brutal to one of their own.
Yeah, I don't like it.
He was bowled for a golden duck, and the crowd went crazy. Everyone thought it was... England loved it, but the Australian fans just thought it was funny. And England won that game by an inning. Australia lost the series 3-1 with 1 game drawn, and it was their first home loss since 1886-87. First home loss in 24 years. Excluding the Perth test, Johnson's bowling figures were 107 overs, 6 wickets for 470 runs at a 78.7 average, and a bowling economy of 4.41 runs per over. Terrible.
Yeah.
Awful. 25 is considered elite. 78, woeful.
James had put better numbers up.
Not only did he have a bad showing, but it wasn't just a 1 series drop in form. In the following series in Sri Lanka, his slump continued. In the 3 tests there, he had bowled 101 overs, 6 wickets, and for 313 runs, a 52 average, and a 3.1 economy. Calls to drop Johnson from the side after back-to-back poor performances grew, but Captain Michael Clarke and the Australian selectors backed Johnson for a bounce back and picked him for the South Africa tour in late 2011.
Paddy Cummins' debut series.
Correct. Once again, Johnson struggled. In the 2 matches, he bowled 62 overs for 3 wickets, allowing 255 runs at an average of 85. A 4.1 bowling economy.
Not great.
In 8 of the last
All
9
numbers
matches,
right
he's bowled 270 overs. Only managed 15 wickets for over 1,000 runs conceded. A bowling average of 69.3 and a 3.85 bowling economy. Johnson's performances were labelled a crisis of confidence. Johnson wasn't only struggling with his self-belief and self-confidence, he developed mechanical changes in his action as a result, which only made his problems worse. The lethal in-swingers, attacking the legs of the right-handed batsman, were going down leg side and being flicked to the boundary very easily. Balls pitched up, instead of being threatening, were easy half volleys, and bouncers had lost their venom and became easy to pull for boundaries. And when it couldn't get worse, In the second inning of the second match in South Africa, Johnson was batting and he sustained a ligament injury to his foot, which sidelined him for the rest of the season as he needed surgery.
The selectors are that's one of those ones where it's okay. You're never glad someone gets injured, but okay, we didn't have to make the decision whether to stick with him or drop him. He's injured, so we have to drop him. Our hand's been forced, and
There's like the Simpsons meme where the Homer's cutting the kids.
Oh
the
yeah,
team.
this is the hardest part of a coach's job: the cuts. Wendell, your cut.
The injury turned out to be a blessing in disguise. Johnson said he may very well have retired if he didn't get injured, saying he'd lost love for the game and was mentally shot. Johnson recovered physically, and once he got into bowling fitness, he got into contact with a man who had always had his back and was always fighting in his corner, Dennis Lilly.
The man, Jesus Christ.
I don't know why that's so funny. Maybe it's just the stank.
The second best person behind Jesus Christ.
Dennis
Lilly, the man who scouted him in the first place. Together they worked not only on his physical form, but building his mental footing and fortitude. They came up with an acronym to concentrate the learnings he made over that year into a simple message. Tough. T.
Wait. Surely we get to have a guess.
Oh, okay, sure.
Meme.
Okay, it's TUFF.
Tough. Okay.
How serious do we want to be?
Yeah, terrible. Don't be terrible at what you're doing. Umpire.
Yeah.
Watch out for the umpire. He's going to be really mean.
F it.
F the umpire.
Yeah.
And then also fling really hard. That's the last one.
Yeah. Or friends. It's about making friends.
Okay, yeah, I'm happy with that answer. It was about the friends we bowled out along the way.
So there were two meanings of tough. There was one for the physical game and then one for the mental. So T, target. Locate the bowling target. If you want to be doing a short ball, see the part of the pitch you want to hit. You want to throw a Yorker? See where you want to hit. Know what your target is. Don't be aimless. In the mental side, have a target for your goals that you want to hit and don't get distracted from them. U, upright. Stand upright and don't fall away during your bowling action to either side. And also, stand up for yourself. Don't let people criticize you. You stand up and own your mistakes.
How does that play out? Just don't let it get to you? That's all?
Just don't let it get to you.
You're singing
don't take unearned criticism.
Like I was thinking, do you tell them right back?
F, front arm. Bring the front arm down as fast as you can to generate power and velocity.
I just remembered, this could get cut. I just remembered that, we're talking about British people and there's an F word coming up. We got to tread carefully.
Oh, yeah.
He remembered what they said to him and he's like...
Second F, follow through.
Oh,
follow through on your bowling action to ensure that all your energy is going through the ball and is not wasted. The mental side for that was direct your energy to the right things. Don't waste it on the wrong things. Johnson returned to the side a whole year later in 2012 against South Africa and Sri Lanka. Although his velocity was down in the high 130s and low 140s, about 10 k's slower, his accuracy and consistency issues were largely gone.
Makes sense. Like if you think about it, he was probably just absolutely hamming it down before.
Trying to overdo it.
Yeah.
He took 15 wickets for 335 runs at an average of 22.3.
Nice.
Johnson largely missed the 2013 season, including the Ashes in England, largely due to troubles with the coach and homework gate and the resulting media frenzy. So Australia's first non-Australian coach, his name eludes me, I should have written it down. So he was a South African man, and we were 2-0 down in a series in India, and it was a mixed series, some one days and a test match. And we were 2-0 down, so he got all the players to write 3 dot points of how they can improve and how the team can improve. And 4 players didn't do the homework. Shane Watson, Mitchell Johnson, and 2 others. So Michael Clark, the captain, the coach and the selectors went, we're dropping these players. You're not playing anymore. And there was a resulting media frenzy going, This isn't school. They didn't do a little bit of homework. You don't drop better players from the team just for that.
That's poor on the media, I'd say. I'm with the team
But
for dropping it.
the team then was fractured because a lot of players who were fringe squad players or not the main stars did the homework. Went, well, it's the least I can do. If you're not going to do your 3 dot points, you're not going to show up when it matters. So it was a big fracturing in the team. It ultimately led to the head coach's firing.
Pretty poor. Like, takes you 5 minutes. 3 dot points.
Poor effort.
So Johnson wasn't picked for that Ashes series.
Should have done his homework.
They should have had tough with an E on the end.
Yeah. Extracurricular.
For the Ashes, in England, the Australian selectors went for a young and up-and-coming lineup of bowlers, James Patterson and Mitchell Starc, to support Peter Siddle in an unsuccessful bid where Australia lost 3-0.
Don't forget Ashton Agar.
And Ashton Agar.
What do you mean, and Ashton Agar? So Ashton Agar, Carlin,
Yes.
making his debut as a bowler, number 11.
Numbers are very important.
Yeah, well, as in
He's the last batsman.
the last batsman.
Oh, okay.
So he comes in with 1 wicket left. By the time you get there, these guys are bowlers. You think when the bowlers are practicing their batting, that's when the bowlers are practicing their bowling. So they're not getting the same batting training that bowlers are doing. They're not expected to be as good. Ashton Agar defied that. He got, I think it was 98, and it was fantastic and amazing, and it almost saved the game for Australia. I remember staying up late watching it going, how the hell is this guy still in? How is he still scoring and doing this? And it was one of those things that once in a lifetime happens. The last batter getting so close to scoring 100. It would have been deserved 100 as well.
On the Barmy Army Twitter sphere, they had a post that went pretty viral, which said, "Unfortunately, Mitchell Johnson has not been selected. Hopefully, he'll be picked for the Ashes in 6 months," which was the 2013-14 Australian Ashes series.
And this is one of those rare times, Carlin. The Ashes is normally every 2.5 years. So it alternates between Australia, England. But during this time, it was only a 6-month break. So they played the Ashes in England and then turned around straight away, came back to Australia and played. So all those wounds, all the rivalries, everything that happened,
Too fresh.
it was still there. It was still fresh. I don't know if you were going to sort of set that up.
I
sorry.
was, but no, it's good when you guys pitch in. It's nice that you know the whole story as well.
Yes, I know.
As
lots
of
it.
the 2013-14 Australian summer, as it approached, the Australian team was hit with an injury crisis. Bowlers Starc, Cummins and Patterson all had stress fractures in their lower backs, which ruled them out for the series.
That's incredible. How do they all get stress fractures in their lower back from bowling?
It's a very common injury for bowlers. The amount of force that goes through your back,
Right.
We said
insane.
5 times your body weight through your front
front
leg.
leg, and then you're twisting your body so much trying to get everything out of it. You're putting a lot of stress on your back. It's a common injury, but it is insane that we had our 3 main bowlers
Yeah.
all have the same injury.
I couldn't imagine, like, sometimes I sleep a bit funny and all day, oh, my back's sore. A stress fracture in your back? No, thank you.
Wouldn't be playing a game of cricket after that.
Oh, no.
And to make bad worse, England were hoping to win their 4th consecutive Ashes series. This hadn't happened since Australia became a country when we federated in 1901. England had not won 4 back-to-back-to-back-to-back.
Boo.
The pundits, across the board, Australian, English and neutral, predicted that England would win in a dominant showing, even predicting a potential whitewash, which is a 5-0 win in the series. It was up to the old guard of pace attack, Peter Siddle, Ryan Harris and Mitchell Johnson.
On his birthday?
He would have
had a birthday that
he
year.
would have had a birthday that year.
That's good deduction there, Watson.
Thanks.
Up to Mitchell Johnson to defend Australia in the same lineup as the loss in the 2010-11 Ashes. However, a new coach, Darren Lehmann, and Captain Michael Clarke decided that Johnson should have a different role in this series, not the spearhead. He wouldn't be the spearhead bowler, but he'd be the first change, only bowling in small spells, 3 to 4 overs at a time. to keep him fresh and his pace high throughout the day and the series. The first day of the first test in Brisbane, his home ground, the Gabba, Mitchell Johnson walked out with a new confidence in himself and a new accessory. His now famous moustache. The stash represented the culmination of the change in mindset and the intent in his play. He wouldn't be bullied. He wouldn't be beaten. From the outside, he looked more menacing. And with a full belief in his ability, he became the enforcer of Australian cricket.
I was going to say before as well, thinking about this, I mean, actually, that's not true. I can see Nathan Lyon's face in my head. But I was going to say, I can't really picture like any cricketers' faces, but I can like remember Mitch Johnson's face because of like the moustache.
He was no longer the baby-faced bowler whose confidence could be shaken. You couldn't get under his skin anymore. All you could do was fear him. So I've got a picture of what he looked like pre-Menacing Mo.
Scotty
This
and
is
the
from the
Ninjas.
2009.
Yeah.
Yeah, Scotty and the Ninjas.
Yeah, similar.
Ah.
And then this is Mitchell Johnson with his Menacing Mo.
Yeah.
He looks like a completely
It was a
different
good,
animal.
good change.
And these photos will be up on the Wild World of Sports socials.
And we'll have some videos up from today's episode. All of us are rocking some sort of facial hair. Let us know in the comments which one of us would pull off the Mitch Johnson Mo the best. And if we get 10 comments on the episode
We'll all do it.
on Spotify, yeah, we'll all shave the Mitch Johnson Mo for this upcoming Ashes series.
The whole series?
The whole
Okay.
series,
why
yeah.
not?
Yeah, Movember.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah.
We'll just join halfway through.
So Brisbane, the first test. Australia won the toss and elected to bat, going out and scoring 295 runs, with Johnson scoring 64 of them. England were bowled out for 136 runs, with Johnson taking 4 wickets for 61 runs off 17 overs, a bowling average of around 15. The second innings, Australia declare at 7 for 401, with Johnson 39 runs not out off 45 deliveries.
And sorry, Carlin, or anyone else listening that doesn't understand cricket, declaring is when you say you're not all out and you go, you know what, we're done batting, we're going to go bowling now because it's advantageous of us to stop batting to try and bowl you out. There comes a point where there's too many runs and there's not enough time left in the day or the match to bowl out the other team. So you've got to weigh up the runs that you have compared to the time left.
They were already up 160 runs by the time they started batting in the second inning. So you're starting 0 for 160. So they were 560 runs ahead. So you say, we're going to stop just after lunch on this day, make them bat in the evening, and then we'll get a full day the next day to try bowl them all out. England was bowled out again for 179, and Johnson took 5 wickets for 42 runs off 21 overs, with an average of 8.4. Johnson was awarded man of the match with 9 wickets for 103 runs and scoring 103 runs.
That's a game.
Hell yeah.
We'll move to Perth, where Johnson scored 39 with his only inning and had bowling figures of 6 wickets for 140 runs off 47 overs, an average of 23. In Melbourne, Johnson had 8 wickets for 88 runs off 39 overs, an average of 11, earning another Man of the Match award. Sydney. James and I actually were at day 3 of this test.
You were heckling from the crowd.
We were sitting in the lower stands just behind the wicket. And the day started with Australia batting in their second innings. They were 5 for 140, with Chris Rogers on 73 and George Bailey on 20, both not out. We watched Australia bat and Rogers get his century, and Australia get to 278 runs, all out just after lunch. We then got the treat of watching Australia bowl to win the series on day 3 of 5. England opener Michael Carberry, who was trying out a new helmet shape in this series, had his bat broken in half by Mitchell Johnson, only the sticker holding it together.
Crazy. a bit of a tangent here. We're getting into this really emotional bit. I don't want to interrupt it, but I did see this video one time. I can't remember what her name was, but she's like a really good batter in the BBLW. And
Oh, yes.
she's like on the mic being like, "Yeah, my bat's about to go. I need a new bat." "Oh, screw it. I'll hit it anyway." And then hits a 6 and the bat just goes like flying apart. And it's like, damn, the confidence to know, yeah, my bat's going to go next thing. And then you just hit a 6 and walk away. Like, yeah, that's pretty badass.
I remember after every delivery, Mitchell Johnson would stare down the batsman before turning back to his mark.
With
and
his
the
moustache.
crowd was electric, cheering on their feet every delivery. The game finished that day with England only batting for around 30 overs, 1/3 of the day. We got to see 300 runs, 15 wickets in 2/3 of a day's cricket, and have Australia win at home 5-0 in a whitewash. Johnson that game bowled 23 overs, getting 6 wickets for 73 runs, an average of 12 runs per wicket, and was awarded Player of the Series. Australia won 5-0 in a whitewash against all odds. But I'm sure James has noticed, I've cut out a game.
Adelaide.
I've saved Adelaide for last because it perfectly showcases the dominance of Mitchell Johnson in this series. Australia humiliated England in the Adelaide Test, declaring it 9 for 570 with about 20 overs left in day 2. Johnson comes out bowling an average speed of 148 to 153 kilometres per hour, which is equivalent to a MLB fastball.
That's crazy.
He bowls the English captain Cook for 3 runs with a beautiful delivery that shapes away and gets past the outside edge of the bat and thunders into the top of off stump.
That's actually like, poetic. It's like, screw Captain Cook.
Siddle, Watson and Lyon pitch in, taking a wicket each, leaving the English side 4 for 111. Johnson rejoined the attack with the first ball after lunch on day 3, bowling to Stokes. This over is the wow over. Ball 1. Johnson steams in, bowling over the wicket, a full-length delivery that has beautiful shape, swinging into Stokes, the left-hander. It collides with his pad, but there are multiple noises. The ball drops into the offside and is overthrown for a boundary. The umpire signals that they're runs, not byes. This indicates the umpire believes that Stokes hit the ball before it hit his pads, meaning that this isn't a leg before wicket dismissal. Australia reviewed, and with the use of Snicko and KFC Hotspot,
Sponsor us.
it was determined that Stokes caught his back pad with his bat. Thus, the decision was overturned and it was given out. Stokes lost his wicket for 1 run. England 5 for 117.
I just love how in cricket they use like the little the snicker cam thing, it's just like listening to the sound and it's like
Hotspot
it's so funny.
was banned for a while because it was a military technology. It was like infrared imaging. Second ball, Matt Pryor takes his mark in between middle and off stump. Johnson comes in and the ball is slightly leg side. Pryor defends it to the offside for no runs. Ball clocked in at 149 kilometres per hour. Ball 3. Johnson gives Pryor some chin music, which is a colloquial term for a bouncer. Bowled short at an uncomfortable height. Pryor thinks about playing it, but pulls out and the ball clatters into his chest-shoulder region.
Yeah,
At
been there before.
147 kilometres per hour for no run.
Ouch.
Ball 4. Another short ball with more in-swing, right at nipple height. Pryor once again isn't sure how to play it and tries to duck out of the way at the last minute, and the ball is centimetres from clipping his glove as it goes back to Haddon, the keeper, at 150 kilometres per hour.
Scary.
Ball 5. Johnson runs in, and with a slower ball at 143 kilometres per hour, it swings across the face, moving away from Pryor, who pushes and catches the edge. Haddon makes an easy catch to send Pryor off for a duck. Ball 6. Stuart Broad English slimy dog. Walks out to boos from the crowd and looks nervous as he walks up to the wicket, tapping his bat out up the pitch to even the playing field. He takes his mark on leg stump, and as Johnson starts his run-up, clapping and cheers build from the crowd.
It's like an ASMR podcast now.
Broad steps across his stumps, and Johnson's in-swinger slams into the leg stump, ripping it out of the ground. Broad looks behind him in disbelief. He was nowhere near it. It looked like he was trying to run away from the ball. Cheers turned to boos as it's announced that the ball is being reviewed for a front foot no ball infringement. Johnson puts his hands on his head, closes his eyes as he waits for the replay to show up on the big screen. The replay shows that he comfortably plants his front foot behind the crease. The crowd erupts in cheers as the team surrounds Johnson.
He should have just locked eyes with the British guy and just been like,
Broad walks off to boos once again. England are 7 for 117. Johnson has just bowled a 3-wicket maiden, which is 0 runs off and over as a maiden, and he got 3 wickets in the over.
they've got a name for everything in cricket, don't they? It's like you're talking about the name of all the like English guys. It's like, you know, it's like you could say any word and like that's a cricket thing, like a banana, you know, a table.
When you've been around as long as cricket has,
if you look at the scoring, W for wicket, 0, 0, 0, WW. Wow. Mitchell Johnson's wow over. Not only did Johnson get a 3-wicket maiden, but he kept taking wickets. 4 overs later, Johnson gets Swan, reaching on one, and the catch is taken by Clark, and it's a great catch. The very next ball, Johnson bowls Anderson for a golden duck, cleaning up his middle stump, ripping it from the ground and the microphone embedded in it. He then gives one of the most famous stare downs in sport history. On his next spell, he takes the final wicket of the innings, clean bowling Panesar. England all out for 172, with Johnson's figures 7 wickets for 40 runs off 17 overs, an average of 5.7. Johnson finished the series with 165 runs off the bat, 37 wickets for 517 runs, just under an average of 14, on 188.4 overs, and a bowling economy of 2.74 runs per over. He was awarded Player of the Series and 3 Player of the Match awards.
They gave him 3 Player of the Match awards for one match. They were like, you're so good. have 3 of them. We were saving for a different match, but have 3.
He also received the Allan Border Medal in 2014 and was the first bowler since Brett Lee won it in 2009.
that's for Australian Cricketer of the Year. Male Cricketer of the Year. Brad Haddon, the wicketkeeper, said, and I quote, "The series was about Jono. He had a few demons back from the Barmy Army. He was there to hurt people. He was there to intimidate. It wasn't just the personal and team accolades that defined the success Johnson had in this series. It was the impact he had on the English team itself. Since the 2013-14 Ashes, England has not won an Ashes test match in Australia. They have 0 wins, 8 losses and 2 draws.
They just see this in their nightmares. Holding up the photo of Moustache Johnson.
They probably did, Carlin. As a direct result of Mitchell Johnson's performance, English batsman Jonathan Trott pulled out from the series after the first match, citing a stress-related illness. It was reported in England he had a nervous breakdown around facing Mitchell Johnson. It was attributed by the fans that Johnson ended his career. He dismissed him both times in the first match, with 2 scorching bouncing deliveries coming off the hands. Graham Swan, the English spin bowler, suddenly retired after the 3rd test, and Kevin Peterson retired after the series. All 3 have Johnson as at least a contributing factor, and it was made clear in Peterson's own autobiography. I've got a few quotes from that autobiography.
I said Stuart Broad was a bit of a slimy dog. Kevin Peterson isn't even slimy a dog.
The guy with the book.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So this is Kevin Peterson after Trott's dismissal in the first game at the Gabba in Brisbane. A shudder ran through the dressing room. Lunch? No thanks. I was sitting there thinking I could die here. He was never tired. The threat of him hung over us like a sword all day long. Another quote. Part of Johnson's deal this time was that he was in our heads, even when he wasn't bowling. You very seldom hear people in your own team say that they are physically scared. I heard Broad, Anderson, and Swan say they were scared. We were all scared to leave the dressing room to face him. And the last quote. After the Gabba test, we were done. My pride was dented. Trott was in shreds. The tail enders were scared. Cookie was dithering. It was clear Johnson was already a weapon we had no answer to. It wasn't just the English team. In that game, the Australian captain, Michael Clarke, was caught on a hot mic sledging Anderson for wasting time when he brought on Mitchell Johnson to bowl 1 over before the new ball. This is abnormal. So, as your best bowler, you want him to have the new ball because it's the most variable in its movement, is the hardest to play. Bringing him on the over before a new ball is just an intimidation tactic.
Right, rubbing it in.
Johnson was set to bowl around the wicket, which is a lot more aggressive onto the body than over the wicket because of the angle it's coming in at. Michael Clarke was heard saying to Anderson, "Get ready for a broken arm, mate."
It's a good sledge. Oh, that's good. Yeah. Like, you said it cool too.
After that moment, Anderson survived 8 deliveries,
With a broken arm.
7 of them at over 150 kilometres per hour when Johnson got him caught and bowled. Johnson's form continued for the rest of the 2014 season, taking 22 wickets in 3 games in South Africa. In the 17 matches from 2012 to 2014, he recorded 93 wickets for 1,932 runs at an average under 21, which, as we said before, is elite. To reiterate the comeback performance of the Ashes, 8 of 9 of his last matches, 2010 to 11, before his injury, he bowled 270 overs for 15 wickets, 1,040 runs at an average of 69.3. In the 8 matches starting from the 2013-14 Ashes, he bowled 315 overs, 59 wickets for 899 runs, a 15.2 average, and it was all because of the moustache. To put into historical context, a bowling average of 15.2 with a minimum of 8 matches played would put him second all time for bowling average. Is that historic of a performance?
Damn.
So there are players who have more wickets, better bowling averages over the course of their career, and more wins. You name it. Any stat, Mitchell Johnson isn't the leader in it. But that's for one reason. It's because there's no category in Test cricket that tracks fear. In my view, Mitchell Johnson, the Mitchell Johnson I got to see in 2013, 2014, is the scariest bowler to ever take the cherry.
This story is perfectly timed, Ben.
Well, I thought just before the Ashes started, it'd be a cricket story to get us pumped up for it. I would recommend anyone who's enjoyed this episode to watch the cricket.com.au YouTube channel, Johnson Destroys England with Searing Ashes Over. It's 8 minutes, and it is incredible. It just shows perfectly how dominant he was. He made 3 players retire. Just after they whooped our butts 3 times in a row, he has one series performance so good that he retires 3 players.
And if you're sitting there going, "Oh, I can't be bothered to find this video," don't fret. It's in the description of the episode that you're listening to right now. Whether you're
That's
on
really
Apple
convenient.
or Spotify or YouTube,
Google Plus.
you can't listen on Google Plus.
Oh, but
Not
it's
yet.
there.
But
it
it's
would
there.
be there.
And while you're there, why not drop a follow? Why not drop a 5-star rating and a positive review to help grow the show? And make sure you stick around after our little break to hear where we rank Mitchell Johnson's moustache on our Wild and Mild board.
Welcome back here to the MCG or the Gabba or the Wacker or the Wild World of Sports studio. Doesn't matter where
James's
you are.
garage.
Yeah.
Oh, that's ruining the magic. They
Down
can't know
under
we're
in
in a
Australia
garage
this
right now.
summer. Because when it's summer in Australia.
It's not just my garage. It's also producer Zoe's garage.
That's true. It's our garage.
Yeah. Ben said it best. Welcome back to the Wild World of Sport. This is your first episode. This is the part of the show where we rank the story we just heard on our Wild and Mild board. And speaking of producer Zoe, after the last episode, us talking about the scientific methods that we have, she very kindly offered to create a system for us to rank with.
Oh, so like this category, this category, this category.
Yeah,
added on.
or she at least said for our final show where we will go through and do a re-ranking.
We could probably implement it. Yeah, I
yeah,
reckon.
or at least for her one for what our thinking is. But
I
leave
think
that for
we
the
do
end.
need to add more metrics to it. So anyway, yes, you're right. We should talk about that after.
But let's see where this goes. Ben, the storyteller, give us a range that you're thinking.
I feel like if you guys get started, I think Carlin should get started first because he doesn't have that same
Cricket knowledge.
visceral experience of experiencing this moment
See,
as part of his childhood.
part of like the thing I was going to say is like I do actually remember it, and like I was saying, I remember the moustache. Like I remember it happening, but I didn't really care all that much about cricket at the time. But that being said, like I remember his face. I remember people like talking about it. I remember
You saw
like,
Australia won.
England.
Oh, sick.
Yeah, well, I knew we absolutely flogged them.
Something I did forget was 2013, Mitchell Johnson's moustache, that first part of the series from the first 4 tests, raised $60,000 for Movember.
Nice.
Mitchell Johnson's
That's
moustache
put
started
him right
a
to the
trend.
top of the list. I was going to put him down here, but just for that, no. I genuinely, I'm quite impressed. I think the things I like about the story is, first of all, it's like, classic Australian, like sort of underdog, like, it's just, it's what we love about sports in this country, I feel. And so I do think it ranks quite highly because of that, because it's just such a crazy sort of comeback story, personally, and like as a nation too. And just like the sheer determination, everything he showed, and the character, and, how he turned it all around. I think it's all really impressive.
Reminds me of Bill Fong a little bit.
That will get out of here. Did we fix it? I thought we changed it.
No, we're
No.
not changing it to the re-rank.
Yeah, we can't.
Oh, that's right. Okay,
the
that's a
law,
fair
the
point.
podcast gods will come down and smite us.
Yeah, we'll use producer Zoe's algorithm to fix Bill Fong's position.
No pressure.
But yeah, what my initial thought was, genuinely, I'm thinking third, like right there, just because. I mean, I like this story too. Actually, it'd be somewhere around this one. But I'm thinking just because, and I'm gonna say just, and you're gonna go, what do you mean just? But it's like, it's just incredible sporting achievement. Like, there's not too many crazy things happening outside of the story alongside it. It's just a really, really amazing. Like, this is why we love sports. It's got to rank up there.
It's a story of dominance and like a comeback story.
Yeah.
If he didn't break his toe, he may have retired.
Yeah, and if
We've
he
never seen it.
never had that whole problem like as well, and then had to come back from it, that's not even a comeback story. It's just this guy doing really, really well, which is cool, but does it rank that highly? But I think the comeback story adds a lot to it and everything. Yeah, I think it's sitting definitely in that top region.
I'm going to be the Stuart Broad to Peter Siddle's hat trick and rain on the parade a little bit. I don't think it's this high. I'm putting it down in the lower end of the lower half, purely because I've got so much nostalgia and so much love for Mitchell Johnson. But really, when you boil it down, it's a guy that was playing pretty
Poorly.
bad
And then had a really good
had a
series.
really good series. Is that wilder than two brothers switching places to run an ultra marathon in the bathrooms and pretending to be each other.
You're dropping me. You're dropping me, and now I'm feeling here.
Like, that's Carlin's pointing to Michael O'Brien, Carlos Raposo. Just because, like, sporting achievement-wise, fantastic. But this is wild world of sport. How wild is a player being bad and then a player being good? And I'm sure for every player, they attribute it to a reason. Now, some of them aren't as physically ready for the public to see, like Mitchell Johnson with his moustache. So that does bump it up a couple notches. But at the end of the day, it's a guy that was bad, that turned really good, and was the best guy in this series. But what's the wild thing? Like, Carlin, you said at the start you want it higher than Eddie Goodell. Is this higher than the only ever little person to play baseball because they banned it after he played?
Because like I was saying, it's like there's not enough around the rest of the story. And the more I think about it, I'm like, yeah. Because like Eddie Goodell, it's like, that's just insane. The sniper rifle. Every time I think of like, was that story insane? I just think of the sniper rifle and I go, oh, that story was insane.
I'm saying it's below Sergio Montenegro personally. I think it's above Fanatic Boost.
You think everything's above Fanatic?
But it's the wildest thing in the story is Peter Siddle getting a hat-trick on his birthday. The next wildest thing is a player played so well that he made 3 people retire. But that happens in sports. People get old. People don't want to play anymore. If in this series Khawaja retires at the end of it, have the English team made Khawaja retire? No. He definitely ended his career, but he played brilliantly well. It was an amazing performance. It was a once in 9 lives kind of bowling performance to be predicted to lose 5-0, and this one player being so impactful to turn it around to a 5-0 victory. But it's not really that wild. It's just sportsman plays well.
It's a really great story, and again, told really well. And I think Ben can lull us into these. Not that you haven't told wild stories before, but your way of storytelling. You're very articulate. I try to make the story. You make the story. You're barracking for it. You're going, yeah, this is crazy. They're facing all this adversity. They're doing this thing that shouldn't happen. It shouldn't be done. And it's a lovely story. I love Mitchell Johnson. He's my favourite Australian cricketer from that time. He's in my cultural consciousness as an Australian, without a doubt. But it's not a wild thing that happened. It's a great thing that happened, but it's not wild. Well, Carlin, sounds like Ben and I are in agreement that it goes below Sergio Montenegro. Are you happy to put it there with us?
I mean, realistically, like it is what I was saying. Didn't really line up with what I was saying because I know I was pointing so high, but
you're allowed to backtrack. You're allowed to. We haven't put it on there.
Yeah, I know, but like, yeah, you're right. You're hitting the nail on the head. Like with all I was saying, with just it's like sports guy does well,
and recency bias is a huge problem because you go, oh, all these minute facts that I've learnt in the last hour and a half. It's like, that's crazy. But then you look back at, okay, the Socceroos went to Vietnam during the war and only drank beer and won. That's crazy.
It's a guy grew a moustache and bowled better. Yeah, maybe not.
Well, it's like the stats guy you're talking about because it's like, Ben loves bringing up all these like niche stats that like really make me feel like I'm like, oh yeah, there's a really nice storyline here. But at the end of the day, it's like, numbers be numbers. Like it's not.
It's in the same genre as Bill Fong for me. The storytelling was so good, you're barracking for him the whole time. But in reality, it's not that wild.
Admittedly, Bill Fong maybe is a better story than this.
I think the fans would disagree with that. But because of our rule that we've got of no changing the order, except for news stories, we're not changing the order, we're adding it to the list. There is no immediate spot below Sergio Montenegro, but above Fanatic Boost and Bill Fong.
Well, we can move them to their
So,
fit, right?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Fanatic and Bill Fong will shift down.
I have no problem if you just move Fanatic a little bit lower.
It's too late. We put it there.
It's going to go like this. You guys hate esports.
I just like all
I don't hate it.
I also just
this
love
guy does.
all the little jokes and things. Like Mitchell Johnson gets his mojo back.
That's where we'll leave it there. Mitchell Johnson, it sounds harsh, but sits as our third lowest story on the wild and mild, but still a wild story. I think we've done well telling wild stories the whole time, and I'll jump ahead. Next week, I'll be the storyteller. I'm going to do it a little bit differently. So make sure you tune in next week to hear how I'm going to do this story. I'm going to get Ben and Carlin to help pick how I tell this story. So you'll have to
choose your own adventure.
So you'll have to come next week to find out how that happens and where can you keep up to date with everything happening while World of Sport.
Check us out on the usual socials, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and then anywhere you listen to your podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify.
I've finally uploaded all the episodes onto YouTube. Not video. Too much effort to edit a whole video podcast. If you're someone that loves video podcasts, maybe one day. Maybe send us some money and I can do this full time.
Well, in any case, I've been Ben, the team captain today.
I'm James Whybrow.
And I don't have anything funny for you, but I've got an educational lesson here. So what I was thinking at like, do I change my last name or something? I'll be like the English players, be like, oh, all their names are like things. Sheaves is a thing. Do you know what sheaves are?
They're podcasters.
That's true. One of them is.
No, I don't know.
No idea. It's a bundle like of wheat. So like a sheaf is like a bundle of wheat. So sheaves is just multiple bundles of wheat.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. So you've learnt something today. Thanks. You're welcome.
So what's your name again?
Carlin Sheaves.
Carlin Bundle of Wheat.
That's it. Wonder
Thanks
what
for
my ancestor did. Oh.
Thanks for joining us. You'll hear from us Wednesday, 6 p.m. That's where we drop, wherever you listen to your podcast next week. Bye-bye.
Got him, yes. Piss off, you're out.
Get ready for a broken arm. Bye.
Aschenegger got 98. Aschenegger got 99. I'm going to edit that so I am right. And
It'll be an AI voice.
Yeah.
93.
I'm so glad I'm the one editing this. I make myself look so smart.